Hello guys, welcome to a new Get Rekt gaming news video. And you might already see it, but I have a guest behind me. The one and only Todd Howard has joined me on this channel. No, I just purchased this cardboard cutout for decoration purposes, of course. I've always wanted to have one of Todd Howard because he's such a big meme. And, you know, I have found it just funny. So sometimes I will talk with Todd. He might give his opinion on stuff. Right, Todd?
It just works.
I have some awesome news towards maybe a new Bayonetta 3 announcement. And maybe a Switch Pro coming soon. Or at least the announcement of one. And I have some new information on Final Fantasy VII and especially Crisis Core. We'll talk about all that stuff in this video. Sit back, relax, take a beverage, and let's get on with the news. So, the first thing that I wanted to talk about today is Bayonetta 3. Because, you know, when are we going to see Bayonetta 3? To be honest, I have made a video in the past about a release date rumor, probably for October, around that time that Bayonetta 3 could launch. Well, today I have some news from a guy I follow, The Marmalade. I made a video with information that he had on God of War back when he discovered like merch online on some stores for God of War to be sold. And now he discovered something new again with Bayonetta. And the following information comes from his Twitter. I don't know if this information is actually from him that he discovered it, but I'm going to just use him as a source for now. So this is from Twitter. Rumor: Bayonetta 3 playlist has been updated today on Nintendo's Hong Kong YouTube channel. This could indicate a new trailer is imminent. And he shows a screenshot of this update. You can see, I will probably put it on screen. Updated today, the Bayonetta playlist. That is pretty interesting because there's only one trailer visible. So there is a hidden video uploaded to YouTube in this playlist that you cannot see. And I can confirm that this is true. That the screenshot is also accurate because I went to the Hong Kong YouTube channel myself and I see here yesterday updated, so it's still there, the notification that it has been updated. We might get a new trailer then soon, maybe with like the release date for this year. That would be awesome. Or maybe we will see that Nintendo Direct somewhere this month or next month, the big one, shall I say, that we still need to have. We still need to have news on Breath of the Wild or the gameplay blowout for it, even though it's releasing next year. I have heard rumors for a Metroid Prime remaster, maybe some Zelda like remakes, remasters as well. So we still need to get some games for the fall from Nintendo. We do have Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is for July, but what's after that we don't really know. And we also need to see the roadmap for next year. So there might be a Nintendo Direct coming soon, or the Bayonetta 3 trailer will release on its own. That's all I have towards Bayonetta, but let's stay on the topic for Nintendo Switch, because there are some rumors that a Nintendo Switch Pro could get announced pretty soon as well. This is a rumor from a Reset Era thread. I think it's about a Chinese leaker on a Chinese site, but I'm reading this from the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit because, first of all, I don't speak Chinese, so I could show you the Chinese website, but no one would be able to read it. So I'm just reading a translated version. Leaker predicted Splatoon OLED model and date it would be announced. Claims upgraded model coming later this year. Apparently, Chinese worker who originally leaked the backplate of the Switch Lite leaked the announcement of the Splatoon OLED model, the upgraded model, announced later this year. Yesterday, Nintendo actually announced this, Splatoon Nintendo Switch. Was a bit disappointed by that because the Nintendo Lite trailer or something, the Switch Lite trailer got hidden from YouTube, and everyone was thinking, oh, that's the But this leaker still suggested this Pro version is still coming. And he was right on the Splatoon OLED model. So that's pretty interesting. This is a comment from the same Reddit thread. Based on my understanding of the situation, Gravity Max, which is the leaker that leaks this Switch model, is a mod on a Chinese forum for Switch enthusiasts, and he claims to have 2 different pieces of information. The first is that Splatoon 3 OLED model will be announced on July 6th, which has been proven true. The second is that the next Switch exists, and the same Switch logo, and on the back, this is to be expected since the Lite and the OLED models also show the same logo. If true, it confirms that the new model will be part of the Switch family, can play Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in 60 FPS, supports existing game cards. They estimated that the new model will be announced in September. I always speculated at the fact that, hey, they could just announce this Pro version and have Breath of the Wild 2 be a launch exclusive with this Pro version, because why not? They did it with the first time, with the first Switch and Breath of the Wild. They could do it again, and they could make a lot of sales on Breath of the Wild and a lot of sales on this new Pro version of the Switch. And it looks like this will stay in the same family, so it will probably be backwards compatible with existing Switch cartridges. I don't know if we could expect then new exclusive Switch Pro games that are not compatible with the normal Switch, but they could also just do this is just a Pro version, and it's just the Switch as you know it, and new games will just Switch games will just support a Pro, an update or something, and the game can run in 4K or at 1080p 60 FPS, like a PlayStation 4 Pro-esque type of thing, or the Xbox One X, an upgraded version of the original model, the original system, the Switch. So it's not an entirely new Switch, I believe. I think it's a Switch, an actual Switch, but then with better hardware. If this gets any updates, I will cover it on this channel, as well as for Bayonetta or other big Nintendo games. A September announcement, I would find that late if it's going to release this year. I don't think it's going to release this year then, if it's a September announcement. I could see them maybe being announced in September, and then, hey, we're going to release this in February or March, and Breath of the Wild 2, that's also coming out the same day. So something like that, I could see that happening, but we still need to see that big Nintendo Direct. We haven't had that yet. What are Nintendo's plans for early 2023? We only know of Breath of the Wild 2. What's going to happen for the fall? Is Bayonetta going to be there? So exciting news could still come from Nintendo. Also, I want to add pretty quickly, there is this financial analyst. I don't know how reputable he is, or any credibility, if he has any. Take this all with a big grain of salt, by the way. These are all rumors. But this analyst on Twitter, Dr. Serkan Toto, caught on Games Inc. I don't know who this man is. Serkan Toto. He tweets, summer 2022 Pro time indeed, and hinting basically at the Switch Pro announcement. But we have heard things about the Switch Pro for such a long time now, and we have seen also, I want to add something like the information that we have. Nintendo has doubled their material costs for hardware development this year. Doubled. Why is that? Could be because of the Switch 2 or like the Switch Pro. And I find it weird that they just double their prices in material costs for hardware spending, just like out of nowhere. So there is something going on at Nintendo with a new Switch. We shall see what's going to happen. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about is some Final Fantasy VII news and updates that we have. There are some new interviews from Famitsu, from IGN, and from Eurogamer. Twitter user Nibble, he's a very cool dude. He always tweets gaming news. He has a short list of bullet points of new things. I will use him as a source to quickly go over some new stuff. A new interview with Nomura and Kitase on Final Fantasy VII Remake projects. No plans to remake Dirge of Cerberus and Before Crisis as of right now. Dirge of Cerberus, if you guys don't know, is also a Final Fantasy VII spin-off game that focuses, I think, on Vincent. And it was this weird, I think, first-person shooter. I've never played it, but it wasn't really a great game either. It's unfortunate that these games won't get any remake. They could have made them better than the original ones. But maybe they could do a remake after the remake projects are finished. Shall I say, the big remake projects for Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, and the game that comes after that. Or maybe they can do some sort of DLC for the remake and do the story of Dirge of Cerberus in some kind of DLC type of way. That would be very interesting. Nomura still considers 7 games to be connected. They are connected, basically. The original Final Fantasy is connected to the remake. It's connected to Crisis Core. It's connected to Dirge of Cerberus. You have this whole universe. It's not really that weird. The team wasn't sure whether the remake project would be 2 or 3 games. So now at the end, we know it's going to be a trilogy because that's how they announced it. But they were actually thinking of just doing one more game and that's it, and doing everything in one game. But the development then will probably be longer for the game, and the original Final Fantasy VII scope is already far bigger now that they want to do in these remakes. They want to develop characters more, give more character development to side characters that you have seen in the first part of the remake, like Jesse, Wedge, these like smaller characters, and they will do the same thing for the second part and the third part. It's all going to be far larger, so it's probably a better idea to make this a trilogy. I already speculated long before this that it would be a trilogy. Some new details on Crisis Core Reunion. It's going to be fully voiced and newly arranged OST, so some of the music will probably be redone. That's pretty cool news. New gameplay changes, linkable attacks, always accessible limit breaks, running on Unreal 4 engine with PC, aiming for 120 FPS, wow. And PS5, Xbox Series X are going for 60 FPS. Of course, this game is supposed to run on the Switch as well, so that's the weakest hardware that's going to be developed for. So on the Switch it has to run on a decent 30 FPS 1080p-ish. So the next gen versions of these games will be running on 4K 60 FPS. And the PC version, of course, even higher than that. The game will be faithful to the original. So if you guys were afraid of any story changes like they did in the remake, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, it appears that this game will be fully faithful to the original one, which I like, to be honest. I don't mind if they change up stuff, because I actually like that, because now Final Fantasy VII Remake is a little bit of its own thing next to the original Final Fantasy VII, and that gives the original Final Fantasy VII some merit to play. that it's not obsolete anymore in any ways. So, but the story for at least the Crisis Core remake will still be faithful to the original. That's all I got for you guys when it comes to the Final Fantasy VII information. If there are any updates, I will update you guys on that. That's all the things I got for you guys in this video. Are you guys hyped for Bayonetta 3? Do you guys think we could see it this year? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you guys hyped for a Switch Pro? Are you guys hyped for Final Fantasy VII and the Crisis Core remake? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's have a discussion. Give me a like, that would be awesome. Subscribe to this channel, that would be awesome. Also, Todd Howard wants you to subscribe to this channel. I can hear it. Him saying in my ear, whispering from far away. But thank you guys for watching as always. And I will see you guys in the next Get Rekt gaming news video. Bye bye.